known as, you guessed it, DPP. This is December 24th, 2020. I love saying it, December 24th, 2020. Who would have thunk? We would have thunk. Okay, so I just muted everybody for the clean background for the recording. At any time, unmute, jump in, questions, comments, etc. I'm going to open up a tab here, not at the bar, but in the browser to Parsha Vayigash. Okay, so let's make sure everybody is in the same place with our narrative. So as we left off yesterday, here's the latest scoop live from Egypt. Here's the latest intel. Joseph has revealed his identity to his brothers. They're shocked. They can't believe it. He verifies it. He says, go back, go home, take food and wagons, tell dad it's time to move. And the whole mishpacha essentially is mobilized to move. Jacob at first doesn't believe. He can't even believe Joseph is still alive. He's the viceroy in Egypt. Is that even possible? The answer is yes. Not only is it possible, it's legit, it's reality. He doesn't believe it, but then he believes it. And he's afraid, though, to move because, well, as I mentioned yesterday, there was a long-standing prophecy or a communication from God to Abraham, his grandfather, that his descendants would be a slave in a foreign country. This sounds like the making of the origin story of that slavery. Jacob is understandably very afraid because he is consenting to move the whole Jewish family down to Egypt, to a foreign country, even though Joseph is there right now, the viceroy. That's not going to last forever. You know how things work, right? Life, the cycle of life and politics. So what's going to be? God comforts him and says, I'm going to go down with you and I'll be there with you and I'll make sure you come back up and everything's going to be okay. So, and of course, Egyptian slavery wasn't okay, but nonetheless, it was part of the plan. It had to happen. So as we left off yesterday, they had loaded up the wagons and begun the move from Israel or pre-Israel land of Canaan down to Mitzrayim, down to Egypt. So let's jump in to the text. Let me find the text for y'all.
Can I ask a question, Rabbi?
Yeah, for sure.
So it kind of follows up from my question last night with if there was a prophecy about the destruction of the temples. And today, we learn again the prophecy about slavery. Why is God letting us know in advance about these things?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. It's the question, the way it's asked in Kabbalah is with regards to Abraham, and I think I may have mentioned this when we did it in the order then of the portion a few weeks ago, is, at the time of, it's not only a general question about prophecy, why does God let human beings in on things, but also why at a time of love and creating a covenant, time of closeness, would God mention something so negative like slavery? So, and I guess you could extend the question to the basic question, which is if God loves us, and we believe that God does love us, then why slavery in the first place? So the short answer is we don't know why that had to happen, or we don't know why that happened, but clearly it's part of the divine plan. And could we say that it refined us as a people, that the pain of Egypt kind of forged a strength that we have that we couldn't have had any other way? You could say that. Do we believe that God could do anything, including give us strength to withstand adversity without having gone through that? Absolutely. Why did it have to happen this way? We don't know. Why did God let us in on it? He let Abraham in on it, I guess, as a heads up. This is going to be what's going to be. You should know that the prophecy continued even after Moses, and there were many Jewish prophets, amongst them those who prophesied about the destruction of the temple. So it's something that actually happened also throughout history, that folks were, or that we as a people were notified about this, including the current exile. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I think I'm speaking around the topic. Why doesn't God communicate in such a way now? I mean, it's the prophecy. Typically, prophecy is no longer a prevalent thing nowadays. Back then, it was more common. I think it's kind of like God is saying, you already got the message. I don't need to communicate with you directly. Anything you need to know, I've already communicated, and it's published, and you can read it. It's public domain. So read it, integrate it, keep it, do it. And if anything else comes up, I'll let you know. But otherwise, it's like the marching orders are the same. Okay, let's jump in to the fifth reading. And fifth reading talks about the people who moved to Egypt. Who were the folks, the members of Jacob's family? Here we go. Genesis chapter 46, verse number 8. And these are the names of the children of Israel who were coming to Egypt. I love that. It makes it who were coming as opposed to who came to Egypt. It uses present tense as opposed to past tense. And of course, it reminds us that at every moment of our lives, we are always in danger of going to Egypt, of slipping into a negative space. We always have to be at the ready and never trust ourselves too much. It says in Pirkei Avot, Ethics of Our Fathers, it says, do not trust yourself even to the last day of your life. In other words, don't be so sure none of us are too big to fail, so to speak. Everyone has challenges. We're always walking on the razor thin edge of being in a good place and the opposite. Anyway, so these are the names of the children of Israel who were coming to Egypt. So now it lists the people: Jacob and his sons. I feel like there should be some punctuation after sons. Okay, nonetheless, Jacob and his sons. Jacob's firstborn was Reuben. And the sons of Reuben were Chanoch and Palu, Chetzron and Carmi. And the sons of Shimon or Simeon were, I'm debating whether to do the English or the Hebrew here. I'll do the Hebrew because I don't know, the English is going to be a little wonky on me. Yemuel, Yamin, Ohad, Yachin, and Sochar, and Shaul, Saul, the son of the Canaanites. Okay. And the sons of Levi were Gershon, Kahat, and Merari. And the sons of Judah were Onan, Shelah, Peretz, and Zerach. Oh, remember he had three sons? Judah had three sons. And then he had another two from his daughter-in-law, right? Remember that story, right? With Tamar? Yeah. So he had three sons. The two died. And then the third one, he didn't marry her off to, and then he had two other sons, the twins. Now, Onan had died in the land of Canaan. Okay, and the sons of Peretz were Chetzron and Chamul. And the sons of Yisachar were Tola, Huva, Yov, and Shimron. And the sons of Zvulun were Sered, Elon, and Yachleel. These are the sons of Leah that she bore to Jacob in Padan Aram, and of course, Dinah, his daughter. All the souls of his sons and daughters were 33. So remember, he had children, Jacob did, from four wives or four mothers of his children: Leah, Rachel, Bilhah, and Zilpah. So the progeny of Leah, the children and grandchildren, numbered a total of 33. Keep the numbers in mind, by the way. We're going to do some math soon. So 33. Next, the sons of Gad were Tziphion, Chagi, Shuni, Etzbon, Eri, Arodi, and Ereli. By the way, these are really not, most of these names are not used today. You notice that? Yeah, it's like, when was the last time you came to a bris and you heard the name, and this young man shall be called, the name is Etzbon. Yeah, not the most popular name. If anyone wants to go retro, there's plenty of names. If like, oh, I'm not into this whole Moshe, David. Come on, these are used so frequent. I want to go original. Here you go. Here's a nice list of original Jewish names. You can take your pick. Let's continue. The sons of Asher were Imna, Yishva, Yishvi, Bria, and Serach, their sister. Oh, Serach. Remember I mentioned Serach? Yeah, you guys remember Serach. Serach was the musician who played the harp and told her grandfather Jacob that Joseph was still alive. She was the one that composed the song. It's got millions of hits on YouTube already. It was a joke. She composed the song, Joseph's still alive. I don't know exactly how it goes, but something about Joseph's still alive with the harp. I'm playing a harp like a guitar, whatever, like this, I guess, harp. And that was Serach, the daughter of Usher. So Usher had sons, Yimna, Yishva, Yishvi, Bria, and Serach, a daughter, their sister. And the sons of Bria were Chever and Malkiel. By the way, this would be pronounced in English as Heber, Arizona. Anybody familiar with Heber, Arizona? No? Well, neither am I. Let's continue. I'm kidding. I think it's a place. All right, let's continue. These are the sons of Zilpah. Oh, all the aforementioned were the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to his daughter Leah, and she bore these to Jacob, numbering 16 souls. So far we have Leah's offspring, Leah's maidservant, Zilpah's offspring, 33 plus 16. Don't do the math yet. We're going to keep on at it. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife. Ooh, look at this. Straight up, the Torah calls her Jacob's wife. By the way, the other ones were not called Jacob's wife. Look, if you look at verse 15, these are the sons of Leah that she bore to Jacob. Okay? These are the sons of Zilpah whom Laban gave to his daughter Leah. But when it mentions Rachel, it calls her Jacob's wife. You know why, right? We've discussed this for weeks now, right? Jacob loved his first love. His dear wife was Rachel. He had married the others and was committed to the others, but who was the real connection with? The deepest connection it was with Rachel. So the sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, were, as you know, Joseph and Benjamin. And to Joseph were born in the land of Egypt. Oh, right, Joseph, his sons were born in Egypt, whom Asnat, the daughter of Potiphar, the governor of On, bore to him were Manasseh and Ephraim. So it was, again, Rachel's sons were Joseph and Benjamin. Joseph's sons were Manasseh and Ephraim. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Mupim, not Muppets, Mupim, Chupim, and Ard. He was the first pirate. Ard. Joking. So these were the 10 sons of Benjamin. By the way, each of these sons, each of these names was named after and in tribute to his lost brother. He had these 10 sons when his brother Joseph was missing for in those 22 years. And when Benjamin first appears before Joseph, even before Joseph reveals his identity, he asks him, do you have kids? This the Medrash says. Yes, what are their names? And he says, Bela for this reason, Becher for this reason. And he gives them each a name based on their connection to Joseph. You know what? Give me a second. I have this written down somewhere. 1 second. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, as promised, I am back. It was a very quick hiatus. Okay, I'm going to read to you from our sages because it's really beautiful how he named each of his kids as a tribute to Benjamin did as a tribute to his brother. Give me uno momento, por favor. Here we go. Here's the Medrash. I'm going to read to you the Medrash. When Benjamin was brought before Joseph, Joseph questioned him, have you a brother? He said, I had a brother, but I do not know where he has gone. Have you a wife? I have a wife and 10 sons. What are their names? This is before Joseph reveals his identity. He thinks speaking to the viceroy. What are the names of your sons? I named them all after my brother, said Benjamin. Bela, he was swallowed up from me. Let me clarify. All of these work in the Hebrew. It's not going to mean anything in the English, but I'm just going to read it, and just so you have the insight, and then we'll continue inside. Bela, he was swallowed up from me. Becher, he was my mother's firstborn. Ashbel, he was taken away captive. Gera, he became a stranger in a strange country. Naaman, his deeds were seemly and pleasant. Achi, he was my brother. Rosh, he was my superior. Mupim, he was exceedingly beautiful. Chupim, I did not see his chupim, his marriage canopy, and he did not see mine. Ard, he was like a rose bloom. All of his 10 sons he named as a tribute to his beloved lost brother, Joseph. You can imagine why right after that, the Torah says that he had to pull himself away to a room to cry. This is before he revealed himself, by the way. This is when he first met Benjamin, when they brought him down. He had a big cry, washed his face, and came back after hearing that. But of course, it was only later when Judah stood up and went to bat for Benjamin that he revealed his identity. Joy.
I'm getting teary.
Yeah, it really is beautiful. It really is beautiful. Yeah. All right, let's continue inside. So let's continue with the count of the Jewish family, Jacob's family that came down to Egypt. So these are the sons of Rachel who were born to Jacob. All the souls of that segment of the family were 14. So we have, again, 33, 16, and 14. Let's continue. And the sons of Dan, Chushim. And the sons of Naphtali were Yachzeel, Guni, Yetzer, Shilem. These are the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban had given to his daughter Rachel, and she bore them to Jacob. All the souls were 7. Okay, so now I'm going to pull up my calculator because now we have all the information we need. So I'm going to start adding up here. Why is my calculator not moving? Okay, it doesn't matter. 33 plus 16 plus 14 plus 7 equals, let me try that again. Hold on. Let's try that one more time. 33, 16, 14, and 7. So let's try that again. 33 plus 16 plus 14 plus 7 equals 70. Okay, good. So we have 70, but there's going to be a discrepancy soon. Okay, don't worry. We're going to come to a discrepancy because I want to share with you another insight. Let's continue. All the souls. Here we go. All the souls coming to Egypt with Jacob, those descended from him, excluding the wives of Jacob's sons. Okay, right. Excluding you notice we didn't mention the wives of the 12 tribes. We didn't count them. So, because they were married into the family, but all those born in the family, right? All the souls were 66. All the souls were 66. And Joseph's sons who were born to him in Egypt, 2 souls. So we have, okay, so forget my math before. Okay, my math, let's throw that out. The Torah actually breaks down the math. So we have 66 people coming down to Egypt, plus Joseph and Joseph's sons. So Joseph is 1. He had 2 sons, that's 3. 66 plus 3 is 69. And then the Torah says all the souls of the house of Jacob who came to Egypt were 70. And the question is, how are we one off? What's going on with the math here? So we say 66 plus Joseph and his 2 kids, which equals 69, but the Torah says it's 70. What is going on? Do you understand my question? Yes? So some say, well, it's very simple. It says all the souls coming down to Egypt with Jacob, total 66. But if you count Jacob, that's 67, right? In other words, Jacob is 1 plus 66 plus 3 is 70. That's one answer. Another answer that's given is God was being counted. It was really 69 plus God is 70. Another answer, and this is the answer that I want to share with you. And you know what? To do this, the best way, let's just toggle Rashi's commentary because Rashi is the bomb. Here we go. Wait, does Rashi even say it? Yes. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Let's read. It's a long Rashi here, but we're going to make our way through it. Okay? All the souls coming with Jacob, this refers to those who left the land of Canaan to come to Egypt. I'm going to skip some grammar. There's some grammar. I think we have to read it. Okay, we're not going to get bogged down too much in the grammar, but it does lead to an interesting insight. Now, this word haba is not the past tense, but the present tense. Similar to in the evening, she would come with, I don't know, whatever from the book of Esther. And behold, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep. Therefore, so it's present tense. Therefore, the accent is below at the end of the word on the aleph. It's ba'a, haba'a, not haba, it's haba'a. Because when they left to come from the land of Canaan, there were only 66, excluding Yocheved, Joseph, and his 2 sons. The second instance of haba, however, all the souls of the house of Jacob who came to Egypt were 70, and is the past tense. Therefore, its accent is above on the earlier symbol on the bet, haba, because when they came there, they were 70, for there they found Joseph and his 2 sons, and Yocheved was added to them between the walls. That's what I want to point out. That's really the whole point of why I mentioned this is for that one line. Basically, according to this interpretation that Rashi is quoting, there were 66. There were 3 in Egypt. So the 66 left Canaan to go down to Egypt. There were 3 waiting in Egypt. That's 69. So where's the 70th? The 70th was born between the walls. In other words, at the border crossing into Egypt. Back in the day, the way nations fortified themselves, they had very thick walls. It wasn't like, sheetrock. It was a wall of a country. A wall of a country was a very thick stone wall or whatever material they used, right? It was thick. So she was born, according to our tradition, Yocheved, this young baby girl was born between the walls. In other words, as they entered Egypt, right at that moment, at that threshold, that's where she was born. By the way, who's Yocheved? Unmute yourself if you know who Yocheved was. Ray, go ahead.
Moshe's mother.
Moses' mother. Moshe's mother was born on the border of Egypt. Now, why is this relevant? I'll tell you why it's relevant. And I want to share with you a Kabbalistic insight in this birth between the walls. Essentially, like this, to help someone out of a situation, right? Somebody's stuck somewhere, let's say. So to help them, you can't also be stuck in the same problem. Are you with me? Because if you're stuck in the same problem, then you're both now stuck and you can't get each other out. So you have to be outside. But if you're too outside, you can't relate and then you can't pull them out. Are you with me on that also? In other words, to really help someone, you have to be in between. You have to relate to the problem, but also be above the problem. You have to be above and within simultaneously. In other words, you have to be on the border. Who is the one who birthed Moses, the Redeemer of Israel from Egypt? Not the one who was born in Canaan, because that's too far removed. Not one who was born in Egypt, too stuck in the slavery, but someone who was born on the border. Are you with me on what I just said? Does that make sense? Yeah. What's the significance of the border birth? It represents somebody, a persona, who can relate to the problem and to the solution, who both gets the problem, but also can see beyond the problem. If you're asking for advice from someone, you don't want someone who's struggling with the same issue, because how are they going to help? But you also don't want someone who can't relate at all to what you're saying. So you want kind of an in-between. We spoke last night about necks and bridges. Similar concept. Yocheved, the mother of the Redeemer of Israel, the mother of Moses, was born on the border. Let's continue. I think we finished it. And Joseph's sons, the total was 70. Okay, I feel like there's also another Rashi that I wanted to cite that we missed. One second. Ba-ba-da-ba-dam. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Wow. Yeah, look at this Rashi. Verse 10. Getting back to the children, descendants of Leah's kids. So it mentioned the sons of Shimon were Yemuel, Yamin, Ohad, Yachin, Sochar, and Saul, the son of the Canaanites. And everyone wonders, like, who Saul, the son of the Canaanite, is? What does that even mean? Rashi says, this guy Saul was the son of Dinah, who had been possessed by a Canaanite. By the way, possessed by a Canaanite, we're not talking about an exorcism. We're talking about she was kidnapped, right? Remember, she was raped, assaulted, and kidnapped by Shechem. So that's what it means. When they killed Shechem, Dinah did not want to leave until Shimon swore to her that he would marry her. So he ended up marrying her. That, I'm sure, raises other questions because they were siblings. Nonetheless, Dinah did not want to be alone and not have somebody. And so that's the way that went down. Either way, Shimon raised, I don't know if they formally married or if he just raised the son as his own, but he raised this son of Dinah's, Shaul, the son of the Canaanitess. It wasn't the Canaanitess, it was the woman who had been impregnated by the Canaanite, i.e. Shechem. Does that make sense?
Ari, I've got a good note on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from Bereshit Rabbah on that Rashi.
Yeah.
It says, although the patriarchs and the sons of Jacob kept the laws of the Torah, exceptions could be made through prophetic revelation during the era before the Torah was given. It was through prophetic revelation that Simeon and Dinah knew that they should marry each other, although they were brother and sister.
Yeah. That's what everyone says. The prophecy made me do it. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah, that's what it says. That's what the tradition says. So there was some sort of, and the Torah wasn't formalized. It wasn't formally given and binding. And there were exceptions in extenuating circumstances, the things that we would not have exceptions to. So yeah, that's an interesting note. But anyway, it seems like Dinah did not want to be left alone. She did not want to be, abandoned to raise this child that she was pregnant with by herself. And Shimon stepped up to the plate. Okay, and that's mentioned here. That's an interesting Rashi. Ta-da! The math finally settles down. 33, Leah's progeny 33. Rashi points out here, but if you count them individually, you find only 32. That's where, when I was doing the math and it was coming up to 70, and I'm like, there's still a discrepancy somewhere. It's because the 33 is not the correct number. It's really 32. And the missing one is Yocheved, who was born between the walls when they entered the city. As it says, whom she bore to Levi in Egypt, her birth was in Egypt, but her conception was not in Egypt. Basically, she was born in Egypt, but conceived outside. She was born on the border. All right, that is that. Rashi points out the son of Rachel, Jacob's wife. Concerning none of them does it say Jacob's wife, but the meaning is that she was the Akeret Habayit. She was the mainstay of his household. She was the what you call primary wife. That doesn't sound right, but she was his beloved wife. All right, that is it for today. So what did we learn? We learned about the family. We read all the family members of Jacob's family that came down to Egypt. We had fun learning new Jewish names or Hebrew names. We also explored the census crisis. We're off by one. Is it 69 or 70? And we reconciled it by saying Yocheved was born between the walls. She was born on the way to Egypt. And we said that to really help someone else, we have to relate, but we also can't be stuck. And this is true if we want to be a mentor, a guide for someone, or if we're looking for a mentor for ourselves, somebody that can relate to us, but also has the ability to see a little bit beyond our own, contained perspective and help us see something else. That's it for today. Tomorrow, I think we'll do tomorrow. Why not? Tomorrow, December 25th, we're going to be reading 6 and 7. Oh, this is going to be epic. Tomorrow, we read about the meeting between Jacob and Pharaoh. Think about that, right? What would happen if Jacob and Pharaoh would meet? What would they say to each other? We're about to find out tomorrow. Join me, same bat time, same bat channel. Don't forget, you can find us on cable. I'm kidding. You can find us always, the archives on our podcast, Knowledge on the Deeper Side, intownjewishacademy.org. Stay tuned for more fun and excitement. And any other questions or comments, jump in now.
Ari, I texted you a family tree. I don't know if you want to share that or not.
Nice. Let me check. Texted a family tree. Let's see. Ah, look at that. That's nice.
Makes it clear. Yeah.
That is cool. Let me, can you guys see that? As if you're gonna be able to see that. It's
Too blurry.
basically has
Too blurry.
Jacob, it has the 4 wives, and it has all their offspring. That's cool. That's fantastic. And number 70 is, let's see if they listed in the correct order. Yeah, number 70 is Yocheved. That's so cool. All right. Look, if you want it, reach out to Mark. He'll be the dealer on this one. Ray, it's good to see you. May your balloon always remain vibrant and active. Donna, great to see you. Mark, great to see you. Joy, great to see you. Sandrine, great to see you. Matt, great to see you. A quick note about scheduling. No classes tonight. It's Nittelnacht. No Torah, only Chinese. May all, I'm kidding, or not kidding. May all of your, may the day, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say. A good Erev Shabbos. What else can I say? Have a wonderful day, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. Good to see you all. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Stay safe. Be healthy.
Go up.
Bye, everybody. Pleasure.